Welcome to Manchester Community College. My name is Professor Kim in the Communication Department. It's great to have you along with us today. We're going to be having MCC conversations. These are conversations with interesting people here on our campus that affects our learning community. Joining us today is Bob Henderson. He is the Director of the Co-op and Career Services here at MCC. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you very much for having me this morning, Professor Kim.
Talk to me a little bit about what your office does.
Well, I'm actually the Director of Cooperative Education. I share space with the Director of Career Services, Julie Green, and my role in that process is I help students get internships.
Gotcha.
I work with students actually from 21 different majors here.
Wow.
And all of them either have as a requirement or as an option in their curriculum the opportunity to go out into the field and do an internship. There's also an accompanying class with that, and I also sort of manage the flow of paperwork for the class and all that type of thing for those students and faculty to teach that class.
So having internships and having students do that before they get their associate's degree here at MCC winds up being a pretty critical part of a lot of different education majors. Like you said, 20-some different majors.
Yes.
How have you found that to be beneficial for the student first?
Well, there are a lot of benefits to students. There, of course, is an opportunity to get experience, and we often hear students talk about the fact that they were able to learn things in the field that they couldn't have learned in the classroom
Right.
because they have access to certain types of equipment. Communications is a good example.
Absolutely.
And some of them call it super school because
Right.
it's a chance for them to apply the things that they've learned in the classroom and that type of thing. Also a great opportunity for our students to meet professionals and work alongside professionals in their field, and a lot of mentoring goes on as part of that process.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of students come away with this, with having made great contacts in their field that can help them in the future. One of the interesting things, I think, is that we survey the students on the way out. They have to do a
Good.
form on the way out of the program at the end of the semester. And over 98% of the students report an increase in their self-esteem and self-confidence.
See that?
So I've been doing this many years, and it's a very familiar pattern for me to see that when students start their internship, they're nervous and shy.
Sure.
And that type
It
of
might be
thing.
the first time they're in the work world, right?
For a lot of them, it's almost always the first time in their in this career.
In their profession, right.
In their professional career. But I see this movement during this semester where they go from being that really uncertain type of person to at the end where they're a lot more confident because they realize they can do the work that they're being trained to do. The biggest benefit students get is that a pretty high percentage of our students end up getting hired at the end of their
Wow.
co-ops and their internships.
Right.
If I can get a student into a paid co-op, which is about a third of the students that I work with,
Okay.
they have over a 90% chance
Wow.
of being retained long-term by their employer.
Hmm.
But even the students that I put into unpaid internships, about 1 out of every 5 of those students ends up getting hired at their internship site.
Hmm.
So for a lot of our students, this is a great way to transition from being a student to being
Right.
an employee.
Right.
So
Because it's that foot in the door.
that's right.
The company, the manager, the other employees, they get used to seeing how you work, seeing
That's
what
right.
you can produce, seeing your work ethic, right? Do you volunteer? Do you stay late? Do you come in early? That kind of
Right.
thing.
And actually, employers tell us that that's the biggest benefit to them. that
Right.
They get to essentially conduct an interview with a student for a whole semester and find out if they're a good fit and if they have the right work ethic and the right skill set and everything like that. And assuming that they do, there's a chance to offer them employment at the end of that time if there's a position available to them.
I bet you have a success story about either a student that did well, like you said, that went on to get hired, or an employer who kind of keeps coming back for more because you're sending them some good students.
We have a lot of repeat employers that benefit from this program, that love the program. I do take, I take a special, not pride, but
No, you should.
I'm deeply affected by
Yeah.
some of the success that students have had. I can remember just one woman that came to work with me, and I have many like this every year, which is what makes me keep working.
Yeah.
I should have been retired several years ago, but
Keep on.
but I had a woman from our paralegal program who, when she first came to see me, was in a pretty tough spot. She, was living with a mother and they were, and she had a sister that was disabled, and they were living together, and they were living on public assistance and that type of thing. And her clothes were mismatched, and she was very shy, couldn't look me in the eye, and we took and worked with her. We helped her get into a placement in a law firm. By the way, she had a 4.0 grade point average.
Excellent.
So she definitely was a very bright student, but had a lot of things working against her in her life. And I saw her. We put her into a big law firm, and she ended up getting hired.
Oh,
And I saw her like 4 months later, and I didn't recognize her.
wow.
She was wearing nice clothes. Her hair was done. She had makeup on. She was walking upright, looking
Right.
right in the eye, very confident.
Look at that.
And I talked to her for a while, and she told me, yes, with the money she was making, she was able to get her family into a better living situation.
Awesome.
And was able to get her sister into a program. And
Yeah.
the attorneys she worked with were helping her with a number of these things.
Right.
So, that's a pretty extreme one, but I see a lot of things like that happen. Where
Yeah.
people
That it's
change their lives.
potentially life-changing.
That's right.
And so you and I have worked with many students too that have really put these internships, have put these students on a trajectory towards an actual career or a job path that they would have never found otherwise.
That's the point, right?
Excellent.
So-
Well, Bob, how can folks get in touch with you? Email or phone or?
Well, actually, I've been on campus one day a week.
Yep.
But I think I'm going to be home for a while, working
Sure.
from home for a while. So the best way to reach me is by email, whether you're an employer or a student. I'd love to hear from both. Internships right at this moment are very challenging.
Yeah.
I am working at placing interns. We're trying to do as much as we can with setting up remote internships.
Sure.
And that type of thing, but I am working with about half the caseload that I usually work with.
Wow.
Students are rightfully reluctant to go out into the
Right.
field right now, and employers are also reluctant
Yeah.
to bring a new person into their environment.
Sure, sure.
So this is a particularly challenging moment, but I'm hoping that by summer and certainly by fall,
Yeah.
the world will right itself,
Yeah.
and we will be back on track. So,
Very good.
email is the best way to reach me.
Okay.
And I'm happy to talk to anybody who wants to.
Awesome. Nice hat, by the way.
Ice Radio.
There you go.
I'm a fan.
Thanks very much. I'm Professor Kim. This has been MCC Conversations. Tune in again next time.